Hi, and welcome to another junior measurement video. This is all about circumference of a circle. Now we know the perimeter is the distance around the outside of a two-dimensional shape. We spoke about that in the last video. We're talking about the perimeter of a circle, and the perimeter of a circle has a special name called the circumference. So when I talk about the circumference of a circle, you just need to know that means perimeter, the distance around the outside of the circle. Right, a couple of keywords you should know, but in case you've forgotten. The radius is the distance from the center of a circle to the outside. It's got to be a straight line from the center to the outside. So the distance from the center to the outside is called the radius. The distance right across the circle, passing through the center, is called the diameter. So the diameter right across the circle. So the radius is halfway from the middle to the outside, and the diameter is right across the circle, passing through that center. Right, here's the formula we're going to teach you and learn about today. The circumference of the circle, the perimeter, the distance around the circle, is equal to this funny thing called pi times diameter. Now we know the diameter is right across the circle. We just spoke about that a few seconds ago. Okay, so what's this funny thing? I just said pi. It's spelled P-I, not P-I-E, not like the pie you want to eat. It is a number, a mathematical number. The word pi is a Greek letter of the alphabet. The word pi, sorry. But it represents a number, and it's a very important and famous number in mathematics. If you haven't come across it before, pi is equal to the number 3.1415926535897932338, and so on and so on. I'm now lost. It's a really special, unique number. In fact, those decimal places go on forever, and there's no pattern. Mathematicians have not been able to decipher some kind of pattern to work out the next number. It's one of my students a few years ago learnt pi to 100 decimal places, which was quite cool, but the world record's something like 40,000. Some guy learnt it to 40,000 decimal places. Today they use computers to work out what are the next numbers, and they've worked it out to millions or trillions, I think, decimal places. Right, so we're going to use that number pi and the diameter and times them to get the circumference. So let's get into example one, show you how to do this. Calculate the circumference of the circle. So we've got the diameter of 60. We know the circumference is equal to that number pi times the diameter. To get pi in your calculator depends whether you've got a graphics or just a scientific Casio. If you have another type of calculator, make sure you check in and find out how to get pi. But for both of these calculators, I think you have to push the shift button first and then push your standard form or your EXP button to get pi. Right, so circumference is equal to pi times 60, pi times diameter. So just bring up pi on your calculator and times it by 60, you'll get 188.4955592. We're going to round it sensibly, and I've chosen to round it to one decimal place. You might round it to two decimal places, but I've rounded it to 188.5 centimeters to one decimal place. So the distance around the outside of that circle is 188.5 centimeters. If you chose to use pi in the calculator, great, you'll get what I got. If you don't, some people just use pi like 3.14. So they just go 3.14 times 60, and they'll get an answer very close, and that's still perfectly fine. All right, example 2, calculate the circumference of this circle. So we've only got the radius, but you know we need the diameter, and the radius plus another radius makes a diameter. So the diameter is equal to 45 plus 45, which is 90 millimeters. So now let's use our formula. C is equal to pi times 90, the diameter. So grab your calculator and go pi times 90 to get 282. Let's round it to one decimal place again. 282.7 millimeters is the circumference of that circle. Again, if you choose to use just 3.14, you'll get a slightly different answer, but that's perfectly fine. Hey, thanks so much for watching.